Good evening, TikTok. I just felt like jumping on here tonight for a little bit. I don't know how long it's going to take me to say this, but I'm going to say it and be done with it. I'm one of those people that I'm a friend to the friendless. Now, whether somebody's a friend with me or not, that's one thing. But I'm going to always advocate for those that have no voice. I'll be a voice for the voiceless. Like, I don't have to tell that I'm real. Real doesn't have to say it's real. Real is something that is just recognized off the gate, right? Because it's genuine, it's authentic. So if someone has authentic or genuine energy, what's understood doesn't need to be implied. And I watched a situation earlier tonight. After a meeting I had gone to with some friends, we had gone to a diner and we were sitting there eating, and we were having a good conversation. There were four of us at one table and a few other people at another table. And I don't really want to get into the whole logistics of everything because I don't want to put specifics, but I'm going to make it as clear as I can so that I can articulate the point that I'm trying to make. Because I want us to understand that it is absolutely and totally free, costs us nothing to mind our own business. Because sometimes when we want to mind the business of other people, not knowing what's going on with the other person or the other people, we can do some damage, whether we realize it or not, intentional or not. And that's what I witnessed tonight. There was an individual that asked one of the individuals that was sitting at the table that I was seated at, called him by name and said, "Come here for a minute," and asked a question. And immediately they says, "I want to ask you a question and be honest, and there is no judgment." Now I want to break that comment down right there. First off, you summoned a grown man to come to your table to ask a question that you knew could potentially carry judgment, which tells me that you knew that or you should have had the wherewithal to not ask what you were about to ask. Mind you, this individual was at a table with myself and two other people. Great conversation, good vibes, everything. And it's a particular area that they're struggling with. And he asked him a question about an event that we attended last night about his, whether he was using or not at that time. And I wasn't ear hustling, but just the summons was enough for me to understand that he was calling to ask about last night. And his question was, were you high? It doesn't matter. Well, if it doesn't matter, why are you asking? Number one. Number two, no judgment tells me that you know that was just wrong on so many levels and so many layers. And this individual ends up leaving, he put his money on the table and he walked outside. He said he was smoking a cigarette, but I knew better because I'm friends with him. So we tapped on the window and he motioned that he was going to smoke, but I knew better. And so at the end of the night, I go out and I'm looking. I don't see him, so I call him, and then I'm, trying to figure out, what's going on, where he is or whatever. And I asked, was he okay? And he said, yeah, I'm good. He says, why? I said, because you don't seem good, because this is my friend. I know. But needless to say, before all of that went down, I called this individual over to my table. And I asked why he asked that question. And I'm calm. It really wasn't my business, but I made it my business because that was my friend. And I needed to articulate something in that moment. That you asked, my first question was, why did you ask that? I just wanted to know. Why? I was just curious. Why? See, your curiosity is your curiosity, which tells me that your curiosity is your problem. That is for you to deal with. That is not for the other person or other people to deal with. Figure out why you want to know what's going on with somebody else. Start with that. Address that. Move beyond that. Because what you actually did is you offended somebody that was in a vulnerable state. And I know this because they finally texted me and I knew that I was right in the first place. But backing up, it's like I was curious. Okay, so why were you curious? That's just another way of saying I was nosy. I wanted to know. Why do you want to know? What is the benefit of that knowledge to you? Because now your actions are perceived as malicious. And I can see it from the individual's perspective that left. But speaking to the state of mind or the frame of mind that the individual was in who left, my heart hurts for that person. Because this is somebody else you should have known better than to ask that question. And when I'm asking him, he's getting defensive with me. Let's dial that back. Let's dial that all the way back, because I'm not the one you want to get defensive with. And especially when I'm calling you on something you know you were wrong with. I'm not the one. Because at some point in time, you were that person that somebody looked down upon and looked crazy at. I know this because I've talked to him enough to understand too. So you're in a position that you should understand your actions directly impacted this individual. And this question was, should I call him? No. The last thing you should do when you piss somebody off is try to call right away. No. And if you have to ask, should you call them? I'm gonna let that one go. I'm gonna let that one go. But I really wanted to jump on here to say, you know what? Your nose is on your face for a reason, to mind your business. And it is completely and totally free. Costs you nothing to mind your own business. It doesn't even cost you your peace because you can hold on to that. What I think of you is none of your business. What you think of me is none of my business. What you need to realize or what you need to figure out is, why are you worried about what somebody else is doing? Start there. And whatever it is that you feel like you're lacking in your own life that you project it onto that other person, fix that. We all have enough issues of our own to take care of, to mind, than to hurt somebody else. But needless to say, I didn't come out of character, none of that. I just said what I needed to say and helped him. And he finally said, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but it's too late now because somebody's hurt in the process. And now they're not taking my calls. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're considering using a substance because it was centered around that. And like, the last thing I want to do is judge somebody that's in a place that they're just opening up and saying, you know what, I missed you. I needed you. And while you're in the process of getting the support, the love, the comfort from the people that you think you need, somebody in that group turns right around and undermines your trust one more time. No, absolutely not. We need to be mindful of how we handle other people. Again, what you think of somebody is not their business. And then at the same time, let me help you understand something else. You don't owe anybody any explanation for your actions. None at all. I'm real quick to tell somebody, why'd you do that? Because I'm grown. Don't question me. I am an adult. I don't owe anybody any explanation for my actions. You don't owe anybody any explanation for your actions. If what you did didn't hurt you, didn't harm you, there was no malicious intent behind it or anything else, have at it. Live, let live. Baby, what you eat don't make me defecate, so have at it. That's you. As long as you're happy, as long as you're not hurting anybody, baby, that ain't got nothing to do with me. My business is my business. And I'm going to tend to my business. But where I will get involved is when somebody else is being negatively impacted and they can't speak for themselves, and I can sense or see the discomfort, because at the end of the day, again, we have to be gentle. We have to be kind to others. We have to be mindful of how we're handling other people. I don't need to dim your shine to make mine even brighter. It's like a dim switch. If you want to shine brighter, shine brighter. But don't try to make somebody else feel bad so you can feel better about yourself. That's not cute. And I know my shirt says pray for me, I'm petty. I wasn't petty at all. God ain't petty. I know I can be. That's what the shirt says. God ain't petty, but I am. I'm not petty. I can be. But by choice, I choose not to be. But I don't play when it comes to people's emotions. Because at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to open up and share that I suffered from and struggled with the disease of addiction for years. And a lot of the reason that I used was because of perceptions, feelings, and things of that nature, how people made me feel. Yes, true, I had to allow people to make me feel a way, and it was ultimately my choice. But at the end of the day, I will not be that person that's going to cause somebody else to feel less than and make them want to resort to a substance to feel some sort of relief, when all I need to do is love you right where you're at. And if I can't do that, then I need to leave you the hell alone. Period. Again, it doesn't cost you a dime to mind your own business. But it pays great dividends when you do mind your own business. That made me hot. And now, God has a sense of humor. Because I got to have a transparent moment with y'all since I'm on here and I'm venting. Let me just have a transparent moment. And I was about to say, I'm not perfect, and I'm not, but I'm not going to justify, because I was about to justify bad behavior. I was about to justify bad behavior, but I won't. But about 3 weeks ago now, I was in a convenience store with another buddy of mine, and one of my pet peeves is if I ask you a question, and especially if you work at an establishment that I'm patronizing, I'm not going to be nasty, because I've worked in customer service before, and I've worked in convenience stores, fast food restaurants. I've worked in fine dining establishments as a server, or just whatever the case may be. So when you deal with the public, I understand. I don't know what your day consists of. I don't know what your work shift looked like. I don't know what happened on your shift, but I know that when I'm interacting with you, I expect to be treated a certain way, because I'm going to respond. I'm going to treat you with respect, right? So this one particular night, this cashier, number one, he had an AirPod in this ear. I can deal with that because I do that a lot. Got one free ear, but you work here. You shouldn't have anything in your ear because you need to hear me when I'm talking to you. So if I'm talking to you and I ask you a question and you don't answer, now you're about to piss me off. Because you looked at me, but you can't answer my question. And I know you see me because I'm not invisible. And I know you see me because you looked at me when I asked the question. But when I ask the question and you don't answer and you continue doing what you're doing and you're not answering my question, now I'm looking at you sideways like, I know you hear me. And my buddy was about to snap. And so then at that point, now the cashier wants to respond. Oh, you didn't hear my question, but you hear that response. So, oh no, we not. I came out of pocket and I came out of character and I called him everything but a child of God that night. Yes, I did. It felt good doing it in the moment. But see, that moment was not representative of who I am as an individual. It was representative of how I chose to respond in that moment, but that wasn't indicative of who as to who I am, right? And so last night I went by that same store because I know I'm in there enough that the workers know me. And I shared that with them, and they were like, well, that individual's only supposed to be here, yada, 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 blase, blase. And we laughed about it, chuckled, whatever. And so last night when I stopped in, they were like, they brought him up to me. It's like, he'll be here tomorrow night. Don't you come in between this time and this time. And I was like, oh, pray for me, I'm petty, right? I was like, I'll be in there. And I was joking because I don't have time to waste my energy, and I don't have time to enter into, because I would have been in the wrong. And I know that. I would have been in the wrong. And I'm a 50-year-old man. I don't play games. That's not what I do. I don't play games. But just as it would happen tonight when all of this went down, I'm headed home. I need to get gas. And not even thinking, this is where I go and get my gas. So I whipped in to get the gas, and I wasn't even thinking about him. So I go in after I paid for my gas, because I could have just paid at the pump and went on about my business. But this nice little Coke Zero, because I don't know what it is about Coke Zeros. I love them. So anyways, I had to grab me a Coke Zero. And lo and behold, when I walked in the door, who did I see? One of the employees from last night that told me not to come in. And then this particular employee that I basically got out of character with. And he looks like he saw a ghost when I walked through the door. Because I was hot. I was like, don't make me mad. Like, I have the ability to get mad. I try not to. Because I just don't let things affect me like that. But sometimes, I mean, like I said, hey, I go there. He saw me. I saw him. And I was just like, I tried not to show the stank face, but see, I got one of those tell on me faces. I got a face that even if I try not to, if I don't say anything, if I keep my mouth shut, my face done told on me. My brain is sitting there saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And my face is all gas, no brakes, like I don't care. Face didn't get the memo. So he looked at me. I could tell that he was a little, startled, whatever. So I went and got my merchandise, and then I go to the counter to pay. And I was thinking the other employee was about to ring me up, but this one rang me up. And as he started ringing me up, he looked at me. He said, pray for me. I'm pretty too. And I said, no, it actually says petty. And he says, no, I'm pretty too. I said, actually, you are. And I said, you know what? I said, I want to apologize to you for the other week when I was in here. I said, because I came out of character and I said some things to you that I shouldn't have said to you. And I apologize for that. He smiled at me and smiled, and then he and the other employee, when I was leaving the store, I wished him a good night, whatever. So then the other employee, I was backing out, and he came out, and I let my window down. He was talking to me. He said, I heard you apologize to him. And I said, yeah. I said, because that's not me. That's not who I am. But it's just that in that moment, I responded I was triggered, but that was my problem. That was not his problem. But I said some things that I shouldn't have said to him. I mean, I brought the family in it, and that wasn't cute. Because, see, I'm one of those people, everything and everybody is up for debate in the heat of the moment. Because I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't trying to think clearly. I was going to say what I had to say. I didn't care who I said it about. I'm going to say it, right? But it's easier to maintain my peace than to go back and try to make apologies to get my peace back. So I messed up. I amended it. Move on. I'm done. And the reason I said God has a sense of humor is because here I am getting somebody else together about their behavior towards somebody else, and look at what I did, right? Teachable moments. So again, I just wanted to jump on here, just to vent for a minute is really what it was. And also because I hadn't recorded a TikTok video in a minute. I do my most shorts daily, or I try to, but I just wanted to come on here for a little bit and record, because I do miss this platform, and I do want to share some type of wisdom, some type of insight, some type of knowledge with everybody. Again, I don't do this because I want people to click and comment and like. That doesn't matter. If one person hears something that I say and they benefit from it, great. Whether you like me or not, it's not going to change who I am. So if you don't like me, you don't have to like me, and I don't have to care. Point blank, period. It doesn't cost me anything to mind my own business, to stay in my lane, period. And it doesn't cost you anything to mind your own business and to stay in your lane. You don't owe me an explanation for why you are who you are, and I don't owe you any explanation as to why I am who I am. If you don't want to chuck with me, don't chuck with me, period. No love lost, no hard feelings. But my nose is on my face for a reason, and I choose to keep it in my business and not yours. But anyways, I don't know how long I have been talking, because unlike my podcast, the software that I use, I can't see nope, that's not it. I can't see how long I've been speaking for. And I didn't watch the clock to see what time I started and to see what time I ended. But again, either I had something to say. If it's Saturday night Easter, It, well, it's after midnight, so it's not Easter Sunday, but on Easter Sunday, I'm sitting up here talking to you guys on TikTok about something that was on my heart. If you guys have a chance to, check me out Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My podcast is The Chop with Marvin Lee. And I typically go live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and this is like 4. SC Grad for South Carolina Grad, SC Grad 96 on YouTube. And then I try to post a link. If you guys are my friend on Facebook, it's the same name you see up top right there, Marvin Lee McManus. You can follow me, or you can even follow my channel, The Chop with Marvin Lee. It's one of my YouTube channels. SC Grad 96 is my other YouTube channel, and it does go live Monday nights 8:30. So if you guys will subscribe to my channel, follow me, share. I do like talking to you guys, and if you have topics you want to talk about, there are people that I want to interview you, but I don't interview mess. I don't do the whole messiness. I know I say I'm petty, but I don't do that. If you're not bringing love and light, keep it to yourself. If it's not positive, keep it to yourself. If it's garbage and filth, keep it to yourself, because we don't need that. If I can't make your life any better than it was before I met you, before I found you, then hey, what am I doing? Thank y'all for listening to my rant. I can officially say rant over. I hope y'all have a great Easter. I love you guys. Let's make changes. Let's not make excuses. Do something kind for yourself. Do something kind for somebody else. Love yourself. Love somebody else. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. Over and out. Love you guys.